Welcome to our first ever beer school stream. This is going to be a fun one. It's something I've been toying around with. How something fun I can do on stream. Maybe try to get some grow our audience. Also, something I can do on the YouTube. So we're going to be trying some Oktoberfest beers tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of Oktoberfest before we get started. I'm going to drink some beers and play some Fortnite, talk about them, and then upload my reviews and whatnot to YouTube tomorrow. So I'm going to try them, give you my first impressions, give you my impressions as I continue to drink them, and then, sorry, I got to get water in. Let you know how I think, what I feel about them, and then upload the reviews to YouTube tomorrow. So we created this cool little graphic, I guess I got to point this way, today for the beer school. So anytime you see this, we're going to be talking about a beer, really getting into it with that beer, and then I'll go to the play screen when we're going to play some games. So thank you all for joining. I think it's going to be a fun. Each week I'm going to pick a theme. This week, since it's October, we went with Oktoberfest. I really like Oktoberfest beers. They're delicious. Now, chat, this is not pumpkin beer. It's not pumpkin. I don't like pumpkin beers. Although next week we are going to dive into pumpkin beers. But this week we're going to stick with Oktoberfest. So, for those of you that don't know what Oktoberfest is, it's a very large festival over in Germany. It was initially, the first one was celebrated for the wedding of Prince Ludwig of Bavaria to some princess. And that was in 1872. They brewed a special beer for the festival. And the typical Oktoberfest back then was a Dunkel, which is a very dark brew beer. And it was what they used to brew. They brewed it for many years. And then one year they ran out of the hops that are used to make the Dunkel. And then they went towards kind of a Bock amber Vienna lager instead. It was a hit, so for decades that was what Oktoberfest was. It was typically a Bock beer. After World War One, Marzen beers in the amber to copper color range dominated Oktoberfest. So it seems like the beers of Oktoberfest were kind of changed with the times, as people's taste or what was available, what hops were available, because they got to give 6 million people beer for this time period. So whatever was available seems to be what they wanted to go with. And then they really started going to more of a pale to dark, some darkness, but mostly paler beers. If you like Google or gift search Oktoberfest, you see those lighter beers that they're carrying, and they're carrying the big steins of lots of them. So they went more towards the lighter beer. Now we're kind of back to a darker malt, what they call Weizen, so Hefeweizen, those kind of beers. Went back to that since the 90s, and then now I think it's just kind of whatever they want. I feel like it's either a Hefeweizen, it's a Bock, it's somewhere in between. So I think it really just depends on the brewery, but we're going to do some pretty close local breweries. We have breweries from around the Midwest, since that's where I'm located. That's where it's easy for me to get beer, and where my local beer shop had. They made it very easy on me, actually, to do Oktoberfest as our first ever category. Sorry, my sinuses are really acting up. It's our first ever category. Walked in the liquor store. Boom, right there. When you walked in was just all of their Oktoberfest they had, and they had their pumpkin beers for next week. So someone who hates pumpkin beers, that will not be fun next week. But let's go ahead and crack into this first one. I'm just going to pull them out. I got a cooler, so I don't have to go downstairs. Packed them all in this nice little cooler. That will allow me to just pull them out. I got a glass up here. I got a mug I can refresh, so we'll just close our eyes and we'll go for the first one. And of course, the first one's the local Dayton one. So what we're going to do is we'll talk a little bit about the beer. I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. That way they can get their credit for what it's due. I'll pour it, top it, pour it, try a little bit of it, and then maybe Toots will be ready to boot up. Well, I would also like downstairs. The light is really messing with my eyes. Let me text Toots and let him know that we'll be ready. About 5 minutes. All right. So what we have here, I'll even show you all the can. This is a brewery in Dayton, Ohio. It is Lock 27. It is actually about 5 minutes that way from me. Not to give too much information about where I live or anything, but it is a very close brewery. So let's pull up there. Oktoberfest. Let's pull up some reviews about it and see what it's all about. I am 20. So Oktoberfest, they describe it as the leaves are changing. Here's the description on the. Let me get my sexy voice on for this. The leaves are changing. The air is crisp. It's time for Oktoberfest. A celebration of beer brewed in the traditional Oktoberfest fashion, with all German ingredients in a 45-day lager. You'll find sweet toasted malt flavors in a clean, crisp finish. Rost. So it says sweet, crisp, and lederhosen. I don't have any lederhosen on, but hopefully I'll still enjoy it. Got a 21 IBU for those that are interested. And this is a Marzen style Oktoberfest. So I think most of the ones I had were Marzen. I wonder if Marzen's a cheaper wheat or barley or something they're able to get in. On here it says their that was their 2018 Oktoberfest. So that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and pop it. So let's I'll read the Lock 27 brewery story while I pop it and pour it into my House of Targaryen drinking glass. It's clear. I also like House Targaryen. So it's a young man who left the corporate world, start brewing. There are no other worlds to carry these weight at Lock 27 Brewery. They have a lot of house beers. Let's see. Tell me about their story. I know they're a local Dayton beer. They have good food. They're really near the Dragon Stadium. They specialize a lot in. They do a lot of IPAs and APAs. They're really known for their Lock Tender, which is a golden ale, which is really delicious and pretty good. They're expanding in the Dayton area. Call themselves Authentically Different. So let's go ahead and get started. Pop a little, Oh, yeah. Listen to that crack. Crack-a-lack. Let's give it a nice little pour out and see what it looks like, and we can go from there. Maybe we'll start a solo game while we're waiting for our boy. Although he hasn't texted me back, so. So this is definitely a lighter. Got a nice golden brown flavor you can see to it. Got a good head on it when he poured it. It actually poured pretty nice. The can is very light. I feel like I could throw this all the way to Tecumseh. Where's Tecumseh? So it's, as you can see, pouring it out. Got a pretty good head on it. It's not very dark. I usually like a little darker of a, of a Oktoberfest, but maybe the lighter one won't. Give it a little whirl. Ooh, pretty bitter. Not gonna lie, it's got a little bit of a bitter front taste. Really hit you. Pretty bitterness, but the back end's really smooth. See, I don't know if I'd describe it as sweet. I'm not really getting a sweet taste, but maybe that will come as we go on. I think I could probably. Oh, all right, Seek. But he's naked. I probably have a few of these, maybe one or two more. Not my favorite Oktoberfest I've ever had. I really like Oktoberfest, and this is kind of on the back end, I would say. So what I'm also going to do is I'll rate the beers as I have them. So, sorry guys, dogs barking. I'll rate the beers as I have them. Out of 10, I'll do. We'll go out of 5. Let's start it with out of 5. Block 27, Oktoberfest. Let's start it off with a 3. Yeah, I think a 3 is what I'm going to go with. Sorry, I muted for the dogs. It's a solid 3. I don't want to go much above there, but it's a 3. Finish it, chat, and I'm still going to rate it a 3. I'm going to cleanse and wash the beer. Well, that's cool. You just got to actually have a good teammate, you know, to actually stuff. What up, Gibbs? Motherfucker. Wherever you take me. Let's go. Got to dance in the Stark soup room. Okay. All right. I got a much better drop this time, I will say. So they're going to kill me. Fucker. God, you're such an asshole. There's a lot of people up there. Okay, I'm going to open my next beer while you do that. Oh, this is going well. Chat, today, the next one is Mother Stewart's Oktoberfest. Lovely looking can. Mother Stewart's, this is a seasonal Feast beer. It's our interpretation of the classic German lagers of Oktoberfest, brewed with continental malts, hops, and our house Bavarian lager yeast. This traditional amber lager is suited to quench your thirst all day long. It's brewed and packed by Mother Stewart's Brewing, Springfield, Ohio. Another local brew. Springfield is very close. I've rinsed the glass. I will pop it. Let's see what. Let's see what they say about it on Untapped. It's a 4.5 ABV, a 20 IBU. It's got a 3.63 rating. Good. Mother Stewart it's another Marzen Oktoberfest, so let's keep that in mind. It's going to be another light one for us. Mother Stewart's is a microbrew here in Springfield. It's family owned, operated. It's got a large tap room. It's a nice beer garden. Never been personally, but maybe I'll have to check it out depending on if I like this beer or not. As you can see, as we're pouring it, It's got a pretty good pour. Not getting quite the same head we got on the last one. Pretty low head, so that's disappointing. But as you see, a little more amber color. Yeah, not bad. But we'll see what it tastes like. Let's give it a sip. Ooh, it's definitely less tart. Sounds good. That's definitely got less of a kick to it, so I think that one's a little easier to drink all day. North High Brewing. Got something a little sticky, a little sweet. Northern Hawks. That's a very, they were right in their description. It was a very good all day drinker. All right, so this one is by North High Brewing, which is out of Columbus,
We're going
Ohio.
out here, man. We going out here.
Ohio craft beer. Brewed and packed by them.
At least.
Got a pretty cool can. I would say very traditional of all the cans we've had so far. Does not say anything on it. It just says a fun fact. The contents of 3 of these cans fill a 1-liter beer stein very nicely. So 3 of these is a beer stein. There's not much on the beer, so we'll look it up. It's a 5.4 ABV. It's pretty highly ranked. Let's see if I can read anything on the beer. It's another Marzen. That seems to be our theme. It looks a little bit lighter. Got a pretty good review on Untapped. It's got a 3.61. That's just pretty good on Untapped if anyone's ever been on there. Our beer. You know I am. I almost. Our beer. All right, let's see. Right. I just want to know what it is. Tell me, chat. Well, there's not much on. Oh, here it is. It is a rich malty amber beer, the Vienna malt, another Vienna malt. Bates create a biscuity backbone and the melatonin beer malts. Let's crack this beer and see what it's like. I think it's going to be another light drink. I do not believe so. It's definitely more golden than the other one. Oh, sorry, you guys can see that. It's definitely more golden. Got a good head, much better head than the last one, but it looks very light. It looks orangey almost. It's got a look how murky it is, Chad. Can't really see through it. If I put my hand on the other side, you can't even see it. Can you? Chat? Can you see it? Nope. We'll see. That's more of what I would expect out of one. That's more than what I would expect out of one. So, I would say this is the most Oktoberfesty one. It feels kind of more Oktoberfest than the other ones. It's a pretty light drinker. One thing I love about Oktoberfest, I feel like I can drink them all the time. I know some people feel they're heavy, but these ones we've been doing have been really light. I like a good dark brown Oktoberfest. Like this looks like any other craft beer. It doesn't really have much flavor, to be honest. It's not the best of all the ones we've had today, so it just really doesn't have much going on, you know? I'll probably give it a low rating. I think I'm going to do a 2 for the North High Oktoberfest. I think it would take a lot for a beer to get like a 4.5 for me, but this is pretty low. It just doesn't. It doesn't have much. All right, next time we're just pushing those goons. There's not much going on for it. It's okay. We'll go back to split. Stop talking about beer. Chat. Next, we have the Bircus Brewing Company Oktoberfest. It's definitely the Oktoberfest. It's definitely the most sexy can we have. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We'll see. It's a 5.8 ABV, a 20 IBU. It's brewed from Oktoberfest Cincinnati 2020. This lager pours pale amber with a creamy head. It offers a rich and complex array of caramel and ready malts balanced with a slightly floral hop note. It's a tall boy too, so we'll see how it goes. Bircus Brewing is in Kentucky. Their slogan is "One for All," and it's in Ludlow, Kentucky. That's about all I got for you guys. So I'll let you know how it is. It's got a pretty good head on it. You want to see the head? The color's about the same as all the other beers we've had. That light malty brown. Oh, I like this one the least. Let's fucking. I'm gonna drink it, but boy, Chad, this is not good. This is awful. It's sour. Ugh. Chat, the Bircus Brewing Company Oktoberfest gets a 1 out of 5. Is by far the worst of the ones we had, and I don't think I could drink more than one of these. It's very sour.
These my dollars make it hurt.